and welcome to this episode of Meal Planning. My name is Jocelyn Donovan. I'm the CPNP for Niwasa Kandaswanteg. Today, we're going to talk about how to make sheet pan meals. A sheet pan meal is where you put all of the ingredients that you need for your meal on one sheet pan and put it in the oven. The main advantages to this method are, one, it's very fast, so you save time, and two, there's not a lot of cleanup afterward. And I don't know about you, but that's a big priority for me, especially on a weeknight. So there are many ways to make sheet pan meals. I'm going to show you one of my favorites that's a go-to for me on a weeknight.
All right, the first thing we're going to do is preheat our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And now we have to assemble all of our materials. So we need a cutting board, knife, aluminum foil, a sheet pan, and a bowl. And now we'll start chopping up all of our vegetables. So for a pepper, I'm going to cut it into quite large pieces because it will cook faster than the potato that we'll use. And we want everything to come out cooked the same. And now the peppers are chopped and we'll set them aside. Next we'll chop up our onion. So take off all of the skin and the roots and then chop it all up. Add your onion to the bowl and now we can get started on our garlic. I would just normally use 1 clove of garlic, maybe 2 if I wanted something extra garlicky, but this garlic came in tiny, tiny little cloves, so I think I'm going to use about 3. Once it's all chopped up, add it to the bowl with your onions. Now it's time to cut up our potatoes. I used red skin potatoes this time, and I choose to leave the skin on. I'm just cutting off a few ugly bits now. You can choose to peel them if that's what you prefer, but I like eating the skin on red potatoes. The trick to a sheet pan meal is cutting everything to the right size. So for the potatoes, we're going to cut them up very small so they cook faster. If you boil them first, they would also cook faster. So if you prefer a larger potato, you can always boil it for 20 to 30 minutes and then cut it up and put it on your sheet pan. But instead, I'm just cutting it into very small chunks. And I'm going to put that all in the bowl with the onion and garlic, and now we're going to add some oil. So we sent 2 tablespoons of oil. I just drizzle on the amount of oil that I think is appropriate. You want everything to be coated lightly. And give it a nice shake to evenly distribute that oil. Next, I'm going to put aluminum foil on my sheet pan so my food doesn't stick. You can also use cooking spray, oil, or parchment paper. Aluminum foil is just what I find easiest. Add your potatoes, onion, and garlic to the sheet pan and space it all out so it's not crowded into one area and it will cook more evenly. Next, add your peppers. And again, space them out so they're not too crowded. Now I also want to encourage you to look in your fridge and see if you have any other vegetables that you want to add to this sheet pan. You can really put on pretty much anything you have in the fridge. So I found an old carrot that was by itself and I thought, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to use this sad old carrot. So I'm going to chop it up into small pieces just like my potatoes since this is a harder vegetable, and I'll add it to my sheet pan. Now I'm going to put my carrot slices in the bowl, add a bit more oil, shake it up, and add it onto my sheet pan. Now it's time to cut up the sausages. So, you can use any kind of sausage you like for this. My favorite is bratwurst, but you can also use honey garlic, mild Italian, really anything you like. And yes, I am cutting it with scissors. I don't know about you, but I have the hardest time cutting sausages with a knife. So I've discovered that using scissors is much easier, and so that's what I prefer to do. And then you just have to really wash those scissors afterwards before using them for anything else. And now it's all cut up and ready for your seasoning. So now I'm going to sprinkle on 1 tablespoon of paprika. I really like paprika. And 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And there you go. Now your sheet pan is ready for your preheated oven. So you're going to cook it for about 30 minutes. Halfway through, take it out and give it a little check, turn everything over, make sure it's not sticking too much and everything's cooking evenly, and then just pop it back in the oven. And there you go. Here it is after 30 minutes in the oven. All the vegetables are cooked to the same amount, and the meat is cooked through and it's ready to serve.
All right, you made your sheet pan meal. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope you could follow along all right. Please let me know if you have any other kind of sheet pan meals that you like to make, and maybe we can do one of those in the future. And remember that you can adapt it any way you like. If you're not a fan of paprika, put on some curry powder instead, or garlic powder, really whatever is your family's favorite. The main idea I want you to walk away with is that if you chop up, hard vegetables small and soft vegetables large, then you can just cook it all together on the sheet pan and come out with a healthy, nutritious meal for your family that didn't take 2 hours and 8 pans to make. All right, thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye now.